So the Premier League might be just around the corner, but we've still got transfer news to talk about. The transfer window is still open up until the 1st of September, and a lot can still happen up until then. But before that, let's talk about some of the best transfer news to have made the rounds between our last episode and this one. And first off, Victor, it's time to rate yet another signing that I don't know if you're excited about this one, but rate Giovanni Leone to Liverpool for £30 million with a sell-on clause.
5 out of 10. Look, I'm not trying to knock the kid here. It's just that I know that Italian players have a poor track record at Anfield, in the Prem in general, but especially at Anfield. I always find that adapting to the Premier League when you've played in the Serie A is not an easy thing to do, especially because Leone hasn't been at this level for long. But there's the other side of the story as well. Because he hasn't been playing for very long, he would be easier to mold into the sort of player that can hang in the Prem. But on a personal level, I don't know. I'm just very much on the fence about this one. His
Yeah.
path to the starting 11 might also be blocked in the short term. There's Guehi possibly coming in. There's Konate possibly signing a new deal, or both. It's very much a wait and see.
Yeah, fair point. And moving on to Newcastle, and finally, we see a player that actually wants to join Newcastle. Finally, Jacob Ramsey is on the verge of joining Newcastle for a fee of £40 million. Do you think this is a good move for the Magpies, Victor?
I'm not hating on Newcastle or their fans, but shall I burst their bubble now? I think, on one hand, of course, pretty much anyone with a decent Premier League portfolio is a good signing for Newcastle at this point. But if we look at it from a little bit of a conspiracy theory standpoint, this might just be one of those rumors that popped up in order to unsettle Villa a little bit ahead of their direct game this weekend. It's just, that was my first thought, you know. If there's truth to it and it does go through, it is a good move for Newcastle. He's homegrown, he's proven Prem quality, reasonable price. On the face of it, it seems like a decent transfer, if it does happen.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to you, Max. Rate Calvert-Lewin to Leeds on a free transfer.
I mean, at least somebody joins Leeds, and at least some creativity is going to happen at the club. But for the player himself, I guess he could probably get a better offer. I feel at least. But for the club, it's at least it's better than they currently have players. So I'll give it like 6.5 maybe, but nothing more.
Okay, fair enough. That's a decent one. And moving on, Real Madrid are monitoring the progress and development of Crystal Palace midfielder Adam Wharton. In your opinion, Max, how good is he, and do you think he's underrated or overrated?
I don't really know if he's overrated or underrated, but he's definitely overpriced because the kid just played 36 games in Prem in 2 seasons and he's priced about 100 mil, and this is nonsense actually for me. And I don't really think that Real is going to sign somebody like that he's not even close to be proven. Only 36 games played, so I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. And over to you, Victor. Talks between Liverpool and Crystal Palace for Guehi are ongoing, and it's well documented. In fact, reports have said that Liverpool and the player have agreed on personal terms, but it remains for Liverpool and Palace to agree on a deal. And you can understand Liverpool's hesitance because the player has just 1 year left on his contract. But in your opinion, do you think Liverpool should push to sign Guehi now or wait to sign him next summer on a free, especially with the situation around Konate?
Even if Konate signs a new contract, that he's a player that Liverpool need to bring in ASAP. As we know, they're down to a skeleton crew at centre back. Guehi is quality, and I mean, okay, is he as good as Van Dijk or Konate? I would say no, but they need depth regardless, and they need it now.
Yeah, fair enough. And just on a final note, Max, Manchester City are reportedly interested in PSG goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma. He's already, on his way out of the club after, failing to agree a new deal. And, both parties have released their respective statements. But the question here is Donnarumma a good fit for Manchester City, considering the kind of goalkeepers that Pep Guardiola likes?
This is a tough one because they just sent Trafford and probably the guy thought he's gonna be a starter, but if they're signing Donnarumma, obviously Donnarumma is going to be starter at least at the start of the season. And I mean, he's definitely a decent goalkeeper, but I'm not so sure that Pep is gonna be happy with this type of goalkeeper that is not so good with his feet and especially in Prem. So I'd probably say that he's more likely not going to join than he will.
This is just
Okay, yeah.
wishful thinking. You still want him at United.
Nah, United said they're not signing goalkeeper this summer.
No, you have the best goalkeeper in the league, anyways, Onana. So no worries, no worries about Donnarumma. But yeah, anyways, that's all we have in our transfer episode. And by the time we come back for another episode, the Premier League would have started proper, and of course, things will get more heated up and more interesting. And maybe after United's first game, maybe they might decide to make some more signings. We'll just have to wait and see how that progresses.